Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear me now that I'm using these AirPods. I didn't think about it. Let me know if you can hear me or not. I didn't realize I was wearing the head AirPods, but because I am, I guess you might not be able to hear me. Just let me know. I just spent all day with my friend Irang, who I've known for 12 years now. I consider her one of my BFFs. We had like another, honestly, prolific day together. Pretty excited. The topic of discussion was really awesome. But like I said, let me know if you can hear me because I am using my AirPods. You should be able to hear me, but I'm not exactly aware of how they sound. Korean cars a lot of times don't like to stop for pedestrians. You got to really be careful here. Can you hear me? 聞こえるんですね。それはよかった. Nice. I got to figure out how to get my bag off of my hand here. Hang on. I bought a label today, a label printer. Pretty amazing. Pretty excited about it. Turns out I could have bought it in America too. Okay. Sorry. I walked so much today. My battery's already dead on my watch. Like if you look at my rings, hang on. Oh, it's not showing anything for some reason, but my rings are so filled up today. So anyway, for those of you that don't know, I'm in Korea right now. This is Gangnam Road from the famous Gangnam Style song. Gangnam Style, as we call it in English. This is kind of the southern end of the road. I believe it's the southern end because there's a Gangnam, which means south of the river, and there's a Gangbok, which means north of the river. But I've rarely been to the north of the river at all. Okay, no, amazing Andy. My school closed down in May. I contacted the teacher that was teaching me there. She might have responded, but she did say that it closed down in May last year. So that's pretty shocking for me to hear because I went there for 12 years. I had been going to that school. And so I asked her if she's working anywhere else because I would go to where she is. I enjoyed working with her despite her giving me one of my worst memories ever as a teacher. Yeah, I'm not going to run this. I already walked way too much today. They have these on the ground because a lot of Koreans are on their phone. And this light prevents them from walking dead into traffic. Kind of a modern invention here. But no, I would like to go to the Korean school. But actually, when I was talking to not Gao Yong, sorry, Irang, she gave me an actually good idea. She said her sister Sabrina, and I forgot her Korean name, but we call her Sabrina. She said that she's been getting singing lessons, and I thought, dude, that would be insane. I'm only going to be here for like another 8 days. What if I took some private classes and learned a little bit about how to sing from a Korean teacher? Because I could then, use my Korean and learn about singing. It's kind of like a practical way. I did it once before when I was taking hip hop dance class here in Korea. But it'd be kind of cool to do that. Take like some sort of practical training in Korean. Hey, Jasmine TFTW, nice to see you as well. I'm not sure how the quality is on my camera because I am getting LTE, but there's been spots where I'm only getting 3G, so wondering how it looks. It looks good to me, but I'm looking at the raw footage, so let me know. The humidity seems pretty high here, but the clouds have been out all day, so it's been kind of nice, honestly. I am sweating a lot more than I want to. So I bought a bunch of USB-C cables that are minimum rated for 65 watts because I was having a problem powering a lot of my devices, like my monitors that are USB monitors and my Rodecaster Duo, which was what I used for my microphone at the house, at the apartment. I'm pretty happy I got that. I asked ChatGPT, I was like, are these the right cables? But apparently, as long as I have 30 watts, that should be fine. I know that's a boring topic, but it's important if you're a streamer and you've got equipment where you need to look at other devices. All right, here we go. It's funny when you're walking along the Gangnam Road, you're definitely going to come across a lot of Japanese people because it's a pretty touristy area. Also, an interesting part of this area, we'll be lucky if we see it, but Gangnam is like Gangnam in the Shinsa area, which is the next station up. There's a lot of plastic surgery places, and people from all over the world come here for really high quality plastic surgery. And so those people that get the surgery, they're told that it's better if they walk around. But the thing is, their faces have been, beat up because of the surgery. So they're wrapped up like a mummy. And a lot of times you'll see them and there'll be like blood also on the bandages, right? Coming out of their sutures sometimes. And it's actually pretty freaky. It's like walking zombies on the street sometimes. Not like a ton. I've seen maybe 3 in the last 12 years, but they stand out quite a bit from that sort of a thing. Well, amazing Andy, no. There's been no. We've made more progress on Spanish from 0 times a million. I don't think Chinese from 0 is actually being worked on at all. I wouldn't be surprised if the co-author of it, which is my business partner, Justin, he's the one that's doing that book. I wouldn't be surprised if he was working on it. But we've had so many, actually some of the biggest arguments in the company are over Chinese from 0. Like some of the times where I've been most frustrated and yelled the most. And actually, I got so angry that I said, look, I'm going to finish Spanish from 0 just to prove that it can be done. And I told him, I mean, we're totally good about it now. We understand why we can't do Chinese from 0 right away. It's just a matter of like effort, time and effort. But I told him, look, in the heat of a moment, I said, when I won't talk to you about Chinese from 0 anymore until I've finished Spanish from 0 with Hugo, which is my co-author. And but I promise you, if I get to the end of Spanish from 0, either he's gonna have to finish Chinese from 0, or I'm taking it. I'm not gonna let it sit in hell for another 6 years, It's one of those books that literally before Korean from 0 was even a thing, we talked about Chinese from 0. And since then, I mean, Chinese from 0 has been in process so long that I finished Japanese from 0 book 5, Korean from 0 book 1, 2, and 3, Hangul from 0, multiple versions of the Japones Testa 0 series have come out. A lot of things have happened during the time that Chinese from 0 just kind of sat in this limbo. It got to a really far point in production, but the very first meeting we had about it, we just had a huge disagreement on how to proceed with it. So much that I threw my headphones against the monitor. I was so angry because we just came at an impasse about, I didn't like the way it started. I wanted to change it. I thought there was too much focus on tone pairs right up front when you haven't given the students any meat on the language yet. Give them meat on the language, teach the tone pairs for that section, and then maybe have a section called tone pairs where they little by little add tone pairs instead of saying, here's a million drills on tone pairs when that's so boring. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? That's like spending a month on spelling English words, but you don't know any words. So that's where I am on the Chinese from 0. But what I just told you is from, I don't know, 5 years ago, that conversation about tone pairs. The only discussions I've had after that is why the fuck aren't we doing it level of talking, and yelling one time at a Spanish restaurant to Justin, but it's not like Justin's lazy and not doing anything. There's a lot of things happening at the company always, you know. You might not see it, but we have quarterly meetings, we have emails that got to go out, taxes that got to be paid, projects that are in progress that you don't see that are behind the scenes. And we're just very man hour limited. There's only so many things we can do. And it's really easy to put a book on the back burner when you're doing other things. Like I've put Spanish Zero on the back burner quite a bit. I haven't touched it in maybe 6 weeks, you know, because my cat died and I was planning on coming to Korea. And then I got into making videos again. So I was making videos all this for a while. And you know, your kind of personal priorities shift. And it's easy to, you know, honestly, a book that no one's talking about, you know, Spanish from Zero or Chinese from Zero. You know, when I'm sitting here on an update for Japanese from Zero book 3 that's been in the process for a couple years. I want this girl to think I'm stalking her. I'm trying to back away here. Maybe I'll cross the street. I'm really trying to be conscious of how I film because of all the negative press that nuisance streamers are getting here in Korea. I don't ever want to be considered a nuisance. So the minute I get any resistance, I will stop this camera instantly, put the phone in my pocket, and apologize because I feel like I owe it to Korea to say sorry for the sins of Johnny Somali. Because that motherfucker, I mean, I hope he goes to jail for 20 years because he's so non-repentant. Time for Vietnamese from Zero. I did take 2 Vietnamese lessons at one point. And I was like, yeah, I could do this. I'll get fluent in Korean or Vietnamese. I mean, you just got to learn more than what you're teaching in book 1. And if you have a competent co-author, you can write book. At least I know I could write a Vietnamese from Zero book. Give me a few months. Let me go to Vietnam for, you know, 2 or 3 stays. And then I'll definitely be able to put something together. I mean, it's 30% Chinese words in it. So as long as you can learn those 7 tones. Yeah, but that's where we are. Spanish from Zero will be the next new language to come out. That'll be the next new book, followed shortly by book 3 update. Book 2 and book 1 have been updated. They're max updated. Book 3 has a ton of updates, but it hasn't been released yet. I guess there's no crosswalk light here. It's just go when you can. I have walked so much. I mean, I just did a kilometer since it said, hey, are you doing a workout? I'm like, I'm not, but I'm walking at time. If you walk 15 minutes, the clock will ask you, the Apple Watch will ask you, are you doing a workout? I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. Oh, actually, I think I just did my 3rd kilometer. That's 2 miles, essentially. Yeah, I've been walking 50 minutes so far after my time with my friend. We had lunch, we went shopping, then we had tea over at a place called Holly's. All right, guys, I'm near my place, so I think I'm going to hang up here. Look for a lot of streams on this channel while I'm traveling. I don't think there'll be any like uploaded videos, but a lot of streams. So see you then, guys. Peace out.